rock and roll.
Well, hello and welcome to the Daily Atheist Morning Show. I am your host, the amazing Super Chris Mallard. Thank you for joining me. My wonderful and fantastical co-host, Ryan, is with me. She'll be here in just a minute. It's Friday, the day of fries. I hope you've had a great week. I hope you're ready for the weekend. Today, we're going to talk about an interesting topic. We're going to talk about why atheists tend to be more moral, tend to be, not always, of course, obviously, than Christians. Why is it that Christians claim to be the source of morality, and yet they are some of the most lying, projecting, harmful, oppressive people on the planet? I don't know either. We'll talk about it here in a minute. Let's do this one.
Have you sinned again? Oh, and it's bad this time. A chicken just won't do. But wait, you don't have a goat for your burnt offering. Oh no. The Lord's wrath is upon you.
Insignificant person whose name I don't know, you have sinned. Probably. I shall smite thee.
What do you do? You're all out of goats. She left you for another man.
Fear not, my wayward child. Introducing Father Flanagan's line of goat-scented flesh candles.
No goat? No problem. Just light one of these bad boys and let the sweet, savory scent of burning goat flesh rise up to the heavens.
Is that goat?
It's easy, it's fast, and deluxe models even have patented technology that produces a goat screaming sound as the wick burns.
Father Flanagan's line of goat-scented candles. Save a goat, burn a candle.
Father Flanagan's line of goat-scented flesh candles are part of our You Do You Jew interfaith outreach program.
When you sinned and need to atone, light a candle and avoid the stone. When the Lord requires that pungent smell, light a candle or you're going to hell.
We're almost there. Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for joining us. I've got my wonderful co-host Ryan here. Ryan Coltastic. Good morning, Ryan. How are you doing?
Oh, well, thank you. Glad to be here. Let me take a little bow here. Yes.
There you go.
Good morning.
That's awesome.
Well, wait.
That's good. Yeah.
I'm well.
Good. Have you had a good week so far? Now that it's almost over.
Yeah. Personally, my week's been fine. Nothing crazy.
Awesome. Been lots of blasphemy and that sort of thing. Obviously, good. And you're ready for the weekend. Do you have anything special going on? Any streaming with anybody this weekend or anything like that?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay.
No
just chillaxing. Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Me either. I'm just gonna relax, get all lazy-fied, do the sleeping thing. I really need to. I've got an audition a week from today, and
Ooh.
I'm finding my footing. Which one? I gotta. It's hard to decide which monologue to use because they're auditioning different plays. Anyway, it's complicated. And it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. I'll get, you might see, I may get more nervous over the next week. It's been a year and a half almost since I've done an audition. No,
Wow.
A little over a year and a couple of months. Yeah. Anyway, so.
I'm sure it's a little, I guess you have to figure out what you feel most comfortable doing, but yet also what they're looking for. So is what, you're most comfortable with really what they're Yeah,
true. Well, they're going to have two directors in the same room and they're going to be working together to cast two plays. So, do you go in and normally you'd go in and you pick a role you want, you'd audition for that role. In my case, I'd go, but in this case, both plays have good roles that I'd very much like. So then they've got the Macbeth that plays later in the year, and these are going to be the same people considering people for Macbeth later. So I've been considering a monologue that doesn't have anything to do with any of those plays, but it does show the range that kind of covers all of them. We shall see.
Yeah. So that's like a trifecta thing you've got to worry about. Quadrifecta.
Yes. So, but I'm going to be working on that over the next week, getting ready to go do that thing, So there it goes.
You're going to do great.
I'm going to do great. I'm very excited. You know, I always get excited. Here's what happens. I get excited. I work really hard. I think, damn, I'm the fucking best one there. How can anybody even compare
You are
to
connected
me?
as the host.
Sorry.
Welcome, host. You are now in the host room and can manage your callers from the call-in studio web interface.
It doesn't need to tell me that. It's okay. I don't need that. Anyway, thank you, Flockmeister. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, so I'm excited. I just kind of I got a couple of ways I'm leaning. You know, so I'll figure it out. You know, It's between the Winter's Tale. If you'd like to know, the Winter's Tale and the role of Leontes, which is the king, kind of like the main role, very good role. And then there's also Antigonus and the Fool, which is two roles, one at the first half and one at the second half. I would audition for the role with Antigonus, and they most of the time they give both because anyway. So that's what I'm thinking about. We'll see how it goes. I'll let you know how it goes.
Yes, you will clue us in on what you decide.
Let's see here. Henrim is here. Good morning, Henrim. And then my conscience is here. 616. Thank you for joining us. And Home Jim Strong, man, that is a cool name. People who base their morals on human well-being can test their beliefs. Atheists cannot test their beliefs as their position is ultimately unfalsifiable. Hashtag truth. With no testing, it is all in their heads. Very true. That's a good one. And all their morals is, they don't like the word, but it's subjective. It varies from not just sect to sect, but person to person. So, Deacon Outcast is here. That's fantastic. Man, you guys are fantastic joining us this morning. I better keep that thing up so I can tell if somebody does the thing at the place. There we go. Oh. Yes. There we go.
Ooh.
Awesome. So, there are some things going on in the world. There does seem to be, you know, if we're just going to kind of talk about certain things, there does seem to be some accountability coming for some people for their involvement in the Epstein files. No presidents yet. I mean, I want to see Elon Musk. I want to see Elon Musk. I want to see Donald Trump. I want to see Lindsey Graham. I want to see all these people, Jim Jordan. I want to see them all being arrested like Prince Andrew, our former Andrew, the artist formerly known as Prince Andrew. You know what I mean? No, yeah.
Yes. He was. Is it deposed? Is that what they? No, or his title was revoked or removed. I don't know what they call that.
Yeah. He was D. They D'd him. He is no longer A. They D'd him, and then they arrested him on his birthday of all things. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy.
Yep, you get what you deserve, buddy.
Right, former prince. There you go, Giles. Good morning, Giles. Thank you for joining us. Bill Gates has canceled his trip overseas. I know, right? Here's the thing. This is my thing, my friends. Bear with me, my friends. I didn't really plan on talking this today. But oh no, Bill Gates has canceled his trip to Europe. He's withdrawn from a speaking event because of the Epstein files. Shucky darn, punished. Hashtag punished. Right? No. There's these people over there. This guy who is like this CEO of this huge corporation, and he's going to step down from the corporation. Hashtag punished and go live in his $200 million home and all this other business. No, not hashtag punished. Hashtag that's the first step. You know, Bill, he needs to, you know, that's cool that he did that, but now the investigations need to start. And if he did anything untoward, then he needs to be brought accountable for that. I don't care who he is.
Absolutely. I mean, I've read in the files that there was at least 3 girls in one instance that they were needing to get passports for Elon. Whatever that means, I don't know, but definitely should be investigated.
Yeah, there's a lot going on with Elon that needs to be investigated all over the world. And I don't care which one brings him up first. Somebody needs to like put him in jail and then try him. And then the rest of them can follow suit. This is going to be probably a very interesting November.
Come on.
I'm hoping it don't last that long. I'm hoping he gets, I mean, I don't see how at this point he's so in the Epstein files. There's so many of his cabinet that are in the Epstein files. I can't see why there isn't a group of people in this country that can't physically remove them from office. That it happens in other countries. It happens. It can happen. It's not I mean, we've heard of entire governments being replaced. You know, they'll. Isn't
that what we do?
Yeah.
As a normal, everyday, typical
as a
thing
foreign
that this
policy
country does. Yeah. Thank you. That's a better way to put it. Foreign policy is to destabilize and coup and replace governments, right? So I mean, couldn't happen to a better country.
True enough. If Donald Trump is proven to be illegitimate and all these things, but it's very likely he is, we should remove his Supreme Court justice appointments. We should remove the judges who were appointed by him. All those things. You know, what they are doing, where they're going in and trying to arrest and persecute everybody who tried to bring Trump to justice. That's what Biden should have done. He should have gone after them all, had the Justice Department go after all the criminals. If they're criminals, go after them hardcore, man, hardcore. But no, they did not. And how many people are dying because of it right now? Right.
Well, I've heard of judges who are deemed, have been they're corrupted. Let's just say they're corrupted. That once they've learned that, they'll go back into cases just to, see how they've adjudicated things to make sure that everything was on the up and up. I feel similarly, once we get Donald Trump out of there, that we should look at his executive orders, all the policy changes. We need to make sure that other things weren't sneakily done, because I don't trust anybody or anything at this point.
So true. So true. Yeah. I absolutely agree.
Especially with what he's doing with the ballroom and building himself his own little terrarium.
Yeah.
Underground protected terrarium.
Yeah. To protect him from the American people when they finally riot up and lay siege to the White House and the Capitol building en masse, because it's coming. Have you not felt it all over the internet? People are openly talking about it now. Before, you didn't talk about that sort of thing on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, in that business. I'm seeing Facebook posts going around with Donald Trump out in front of the White House on a gallows with a rope around his neck. And that's just trending on Facebook. And it doesn't seem to be, it's just the people are that mad. It just seems to be, people are that mad. It looks like we've got a call from Fro this morning. Again, our morning coffee call with Fro. Fro says, I don't think anybody is more moral than anybody. Okay, let's see that. Let's bring Fro. Good morning, Fro.
Hello, my favorite heathens.
Hello. Turn you up here. Can you all hear me okay?
I guess you have to fight internally who's my favorite, but both of you are my favorite. So
we'll wrestle for that later.
Okay.
I got 80 pounds on her. I'm good. Anyway, good morning, Fro. She's wiry. I think she's wiry. You say you don't think... What's that? You're what?
I'm thickums. I don't know that you got 80 pounds on me is what I'm saying.
Understood. Yeah. So, Fro, you said that you don't think anybody is more moral than anybody. So what that would be kind of like a reflection upon your overall view of morality, wouldn't it?
Oh, why is that?
Well, because you have an opinion of what morality is, and nobody's going to be more moral than anybody else. So I'm just kind of curious. I wasn't even trying to be offensive about it. I'm just saying you have your notion of what morality is. And with nobody being more moral than anybody else, I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
I don't think that being a Christian makes you moral. I don't think being an atheist makes you moral. I just think it's what you do with your life is what makes you moral or not.
Well, of course. Absolutely. Individually, yes. That's true.
Yeah, I think it's individual. I don't think we can point at one organization and say, hey, that is a very moral organization. Or like faith, maybe not organization, sorry for saying that, faith belief.
Well, that's possible. Generally, atheists tend to, not all of them, tend to go by secular humanist morality set generally. And oftentimes we see memes, we see all these kinds of things where Christians themselves, I believe you've even said it on the channel, where atheists tend to be more Christian than Christians. So not on a whole, but we talk about, when we talk about as a general whole, we talk about Christianity, we've got Catholicism. There's a lot of harm there. We've got there's just a lot of harm in general with Christianity that you really can't lay at the feet.
Harm inside of every religious organization, though, Chris?
Oh, well, we could. Yeah. Do you want to do that? We can do that.
It's silly to say that there's one organization that has more morals than the other one. I think that is.
It's really not. I tell you what. How about this? Wait. How about this? You're saying it's silly to say that one organization has more morals than another. Okay, you've got the Catholic Church, who not only fostered pedophiles but moved them around, hid them, all those other things. And then, wait, no, let me finish. No. And then you've got the Albuquerque West Side Bowling League. And they haven't done any of those things. Which organization is more moral?
The second one.
So that's silly, isn't it? Isn't that just silly? That's silly, Fro.
No, no. That's not what I meant.
By that same token?
I didn't mean that Sorry?
I was going to say, by that same token, when you look on the internet, per capita, per person, you see Christian pastors, all these people, right-wing Christian people getting arrested for child assault all the time. It's always in the news. You don't see that with the atheist skeptic community. I'm just saying these are kind of a couple of things that compare.
Sure. But, okay. I would say that...
Which group is more likely to force their beliefs on other people's children in the schools?
Yeah, no, I agree with that, Chris.
Okay.
It's not that I think I disagree with. But pointing at Catholics and saying, hey, look at this, Christians. Every Christians are like Catholics. That is a little bit...
I didn't say that.
Dishonest.
I did not say every Christians are like Catholics. However, let me go there. We've got any large Christian organization tends to have the same problem. We've got the Southern Baptists here in the United States. We've got the Boy Scouts here in the United States. Which one was it, Ryan? Was it the JWs recently that got exposed for they're hiding child sex groups?
Jehovah's Witnesses are terrible. Yeah.
Like I'm saying,
I don't know if I disagree with you, but saying that you cannot, that you can, nobody's saying that, but it's like, I feel like you saying that you can't find an atheist organization without pedophiles in it is dishonest.
I didn't say that. I didn't say. We're comparing numbers. We're comparing. There's good and bad people in every group of people. Fro, we know that. We're talking about. On the whole.
We could rank. I think we could rank organizations on morality. That's not what I'm not saying. Like I'm saying both you and me agree that Catholics are terrible. That's why I'm not a Catholic, right?
I know. I picked a good one that time. Did I? Carry on, Fro. Carry on. I understand.
Yeah, I'm not a Catholic, so I'm not here to defend the fucking Catholic faith. Sorry for swearing, but I'm not here to defend those assholes.
Right.
That's not what I'm saying. They are on the shit list. I'm not saying that they are not on the shit list. But what I'm saying is that if you look at Christians in general, and I'm going to say in general, I don't think they are less moral than atheists.
Okay.
In general, but I have to put two red lines under the word in general.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's good. I appreciate that. Now, almost Now, if you can, Fro, I'm just going to use these as a simple one-time base example without going any further. Can you name for me, without outside of a fully female Christian sect, can you name for me a single Christian sect that treats women equally that they do to men? The women have equal rights as men and powers as men. Go ahead, take your time.
On the top of my head, no.
Yeah. And see, I'm saying Christianity as a whole oppresses women, and you won't find that as in secular humanism. So that alone is sort of proof of the point of the topic of the show. In general, atheists, secular humanists are more moral than Christians.
Can you point? Okay. Let me ask you to return the favor. Can you point to a person that is secular that does not represent your worldview?
Can I? Absolutely. Yes, I certainly can. There's this guy named Steve McRae. From my last understanding, he's an atheist like I am. So I do appreciate his battle against the oppressive Christianity that is there. But he's also, and you can quote me on this, a right-wing trash douchebag piece of shit. Steve, if you're watching. Yeah, I absolutely do not agree with him. There are other people where in our atheist community, there's this guy named Peter. Me and Peter don't get along at all. We've had public disagreements. And then there's another person. So there's people in the community that I don't get along with.
Lawrence Krauss.
I don't really know enough about Lawrence Krauss to know.
I don't like him now. I don't like him now. He was sucking the D at Epstein. I don't like him now.
Yeah. That's all I know recently of him. Yeah. And then all this Richard Dawkins thing. I kind of didn't like Richard Dawkins to begin with. But Richard Dawkins, not all of us. Now, here's something else. Richard Dawkins has sort of embraced this whole anti-trans thing, right? But, he's not really necessarily part of the secular humanist community. He is an atheist, but even Richard Dawkins calls himself a cultural Christian. Which would explain the anti-trans views and stuff like that. So you can go look that up. Even Richard Dawkins himself calls himself a cultural Christian, despite being an atheist.
Okay, now I'm going to be generous back, and I will say that I think I can find people that I disagree with, but I can also point to Christians that I like in my community. I think there are good Christians out there, and I hope you're not saying that there are no moral Christians.
No, I'm really not. And to be fair, a lot of the, because I too have Christian friends, new Christian friends that I'm developing. That's kind of I was looking at you, Fro. But and there's also other people who are my friends who I deeply respect who are Christian. And not all, I've said this before, it's not all Christians. It's really not. But Christianity it has this facade of being love and purity and niceness. And as soon as you get into the church, at least in the States, it starts this immediate otherism. Oh yeah, we're Methodists. We don't like those people. We don't like those people. We don't like these people. And I'm sure you heard about the woman going around begging for food, her and her baby begging for food here at the Christian churches in the United States. You saw that on the internet, didn't you?
No.
Oh man. So there's this lady, you look it up, man. Oh, this lady calls around on the phone to her, started with her local Christian churches, and she called around. She's like, listen, I am hungry. I'm starving. I don't have any money. I have a baby. We need formula. And they kept turning her away. Well, if you're not a member of our church, we can't help you, or whatever reason. A lot of them were like, we don't actually do that. We don't give away food like that, sort of. And there was a lot of them who just turned her away. And then when it went kind of viral, she started calling Christian churches all over the country. It just totally blew up. I can't believe you haven't heard of it. And they were turning her down. A lot of them was just because she didn't go to their church. And it's shameful that this group who claims to be the ones there. Yeah.
That goes into when you and me maybe talked for the first or second time. I said that God needs a better PR firm. He needs a new PR firm. Yeah. And I think I stand behind that.
I could agree. I would also say that oftentimes on this show, and Ryan can confirm, I will say, what the hell is wrong? A Christian will come in the chat and they'll say something. I'm like, God is not sending his best. He's just not. Bro, you're one of the better ones. You really are. You're a Christian that I enjoy talking to. You're a lot of fun. There's just some out there who come in and they start throwing some of the dumbest things. I think they just do it. I don't know why they do it. But it's good to see somebody actually come in and have a point and be noble about it.
There are good Christian trolls out there. There are definitely good atheist trolls out there. Yeah.
Well, I've said before, again, Christianity sings out this song. They ring this bell that says we're about love and we're about peace, and good people in the world who are looking for other people who are about good and about love and about peace. They go to these places. The church says we help the poor. We love the poor. People who want to help and love the poor, they go to these places, and that's how they get wrapped up. So churches are full, but just teeming with good people. They are.
Yeah.
But once they get in there and the doctrine starts getting in on them, then all the othering, and then all of a sudden, the pearl clutching, and then the looking down on other people. Oh, look, she's got a tattoo. It just varies.
It is a little bit funny that you bring that up, because I live in a place. There was someone in chat that asked how is Fro viewed in his country, and I am looked upon as crazy because I'm a Christian, because most people around me are atheists. I live in one of the most atheistic countries out there.
Yeah.
So people think I'm crazy. I also live in the middle of nowhere.
I'd be interested to see the relative size of your amygdala.
Sorry?
I would be interested.
Your amygdala.
I'd like to see your amygdala, if you don't mind.
What is the amygdala?
There's a part of the brain that regulates disgust, fear, anxiety, and people who are more right-leaning tend to have a larger amygdala. They have more of a fear response. But even though you said that you were afraid of hell, and that was part of the reason why you stuck it there. You don't really. I don't get the vibe that you're afraid of a lot of things like that. I could be wrong, but.
Well, I'm not afraid to. I'm definitely not afraid to be a different kind of Christian. I'll give that. I'm pretty. I'm very. I would call myself pretty liberal. I have no problem with trans people. I have a crush on I have a small little tiny crush on Ember. So
I know. Ember's not even in the chat, I don't think, this morning, but
yeah.
Anyway.
It's not like I'm definitely not what people would I would not call myself hardcore.
Right. Oh yeah. No, I got that.
In any way.
I think that's kind of how you kicked in the door when you first introduced yourself. Is you've only been a Christian for a couple of years. You're still learning. You've explored, but you've got an open mind and you're doing the thing. Oh, Ember is here, working on stuff,
listening.
So there is that.
I hear.
I know. All right, Fro, it's time for us to take a break. I very much appreciate your phone call this morning. That was a good one.
I love both of you.
Thank you very much. Hugs, peaches, that sort of thing. Have a good weekend. Let's take a quick break, and whenever we come back, we will talk more about, we'll talk about the atheism, morality. Christianity. Who's more moral? We'll talk about that, or at least perceive. Well, no, we'll be back, my friends. Let's do. Which one did we do earlier? Did we do goat-scented flesh candles? We did do goat-scented flesh candles this morning. I want to do postmortem. I love postmortem. Do you have a loved one who's on their deathbed, but they've yet to give themselves up to the Lord?
Are you sure you don't want to come to Jesus?
No.
This is your final chance.
No. Worried they're headed to the fiery pits of hell.
Your very last chance.
No. I've been wicked and sinful. I deserve to burn in the hot place.
As you wish. Farewell, my heathen husband.
Farewell, my... Well, fear not, my wayward child. Introducing Father Flanagan's line of post-mortem baptismal kits. No more worries about being miserable alone forever. Be a good Christian and share that eternal pain and suffering with the ones you love. I'm in hell. Not as hot as I thought it'd be. Kind of feels like Houston, minus the humidity. Hello. My favorite drink crafted to perfection. Ooh, and some dank ass weed.
I can't bear to be down on my face chanting, holy, holy, holy is the Lord, every day, all day, for all eternity, by myself.
Wow, is that George Carlin? And Alan Turing, look at that. Carl say, oh, I am so honored. You've been my hero since I was a kid. Neil deGrasse Tyson, what are you doing here? Oh, I get it. I get it. Schrodinger's heathen. Very cute, you. Very cute. That's fantastic. Oh, what is that? What is? It's holy water. Oh, it burns. No, this isn't where I want to be. Pabst Blue Ribbon and a Marlboro? No! Father Flanagan's post-mortem baptismal kit. Dead kid tested, Mother Teresa approved. Is that the Pope and John Paul? Jim Jones and Jimmy Swaggart, huh? I could see that coming. Neil deGrasse, what are you doing? Holy, holy, holy is the Lord. Holy, holy, holy is the Lord.
Thanks, Father Flanagan.
Damn them to an eternity in heaven for only $59.99. They wouldn't appreciate it, but you'll feel better, and that's the point, isn't it? Get yours now. Your heathen loved one's time is running out. Holy, holy, holy is the Lord. This is some bullshit. Holy, holy, holy is the Lord. And we are back. Godless Granny is in the chat. Hugs. I think she wanted one of my videos for something she's doing for one of her videos, and I'm eager to see what's going to come of it myself.
She's going to do.
Yeah, I mean, is it going to be one of those? Don't be like this man, or you know, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So.
Oh, 10:30 a.m. today.
10:30 a.m. today on Godless Granny's channel. Are you guys not supported to Godless Granny or subscribed to Godless Granny? You should really be subscribed to Godless Granny.
You should be if not.
I'm gonna set myself an alarm. Do it now. I gotta set myself an alarm because I forget shit. I just won't do it if I 10:30 a.m. Oh, so it better be 10:15, and I want to put that as. There we go. Godless Granny.
Yeah, I don't know what time zone she's in, but Fro says that he was called an atheist by some Christians because he's so liberal. Really?
I could see that. Yeah. Wow. That's kind of Central Time. So that's 9 a.m. my time. Oh, that's right after the show. That's during Ember's thing, or Ember's show. Okay. Gotcha. Don't snooze. Okay, there we go. Awesome sauce. Disco Poppy is here. Good morning, Disco Poppy. Thank you for joining us. So I was going to say something. Let me see what I was going to say. That is not it. I don't remember what were we talking about.
Well, you had said you were just talking about your commercial and Godless Granny was going to use it.
Yeah, okay. So I was going to talk about it. And we did. We talked about that. Covered it. Covered up.
Just want to see what happens, what she does with it.
Exactly.
I'm sure she will not make fun of you at all.
She might. That's all right. Wait a second. Tina Tienden is here. Did I say that right? Tina Tienden? Tina Tieden is here. Good morning, Tina.
Tina Tieden?
Yeah.
Oh, darn. I didn't have it on the right chat. Dag nabbit.
I see. Oh, no, me too. Let me make sure. No, mine is okay. The Happy Heretic says, I'm calling out from work today. You know, you got to have your priorities. Atheist Morning Show, work. Atheist Morning Show, feed the family. Atheist Morning Show. I can understand why you'd be here. It illustrates an apologist's response to the divine hidden problem. I would be very keen to see some theists' reaction to some of my commercials. I don't get a lot of that. They just don't for some reason.
IBK.
H.E. Jones, I'm working on a new Olympic sport. It mixes skiing with timber sports, a biathlon, but with chainsaws. He also has stock in the artificial limb industry.
Big investment behind the scenes. He knows.
Yes. Brent A is here. Good morning, Brent A. Thank you for joining us. I hope you had a great week. Godless Granny says atheists aren't more moral than Christians. People are people. It's just easier to manipulate Christians because they are programmed to obey. Can't argue, really. You know. Yeah. I guess we covered a lot of things, Miss Kelly, just a little bit ago. It was all the cool stuff. But yeah, it's cool. Darkwing Duck shirt kicks ass. Yes, it does. Thank you very much. I have to be honest. The evil one did this. She got all the fancy shirts for me that I wear on here. And if you catch me out in public and I'm wearing clothes that make me look like a responsible grown-up adult, she did that.
That's her.
Yeah, that's her. If you catch me out in public and I look like I should be like shaking a cup on a street corner, that's me.
You dressed yourself.
Yes, I dressed myself. We're using the word dressed loosely, very loosely.
They were clothes on my body.
Yes. Danielle Austin, I just made my kids watch Darkwing Duck. Oh my goodness, Darkwing Duck is fantastic. There's that episode. I used to play this game. Anyway, that's a long story, but Darkwing Duck, that's the second most painful experience of my life. That is one of the most hilarious phrases. Yeah, it's just, you got to be there. You had to be there. I could tell you, but you would be like, yeah. Godless Granny says, you look like you got a gift from a grandkid. Yeah, kind of. You know, Godless Granny, I have to say what really started it was we went on a cruise. And on that cruise, we were somewhere and we bought me a shirt. It's a very cool shirt. It's like kind of loud and it's fun. And I got a sunburn and my hair looked really white. My head looked really red and it just contrasted with the shirt. And I really like wearing that shirt. I very much do. However, I got so many comparisons to Kent Ham. Is that right? Ken Ham? Is that him?
Ken Ham?
Ken Hovind.
Oh, Ken Hovind.
So many comparisons to Ken Hovind that I was like, oh my goodness, I will show you guys. Yeah, Ken Hovind. He's the one with the very loud shirts. So let me put on the stupid music. I'll tell you what. I know, right? Let me go here. I'm going to do this thing. I'll show you the shirt because I haven't worn it in a while and this will give me an excuse to wear it. Okay. You know, my little button thing, it just frustrates me. It gives me frustrations is what it does. Frustrations. Okay. So let's do this one right here. We'll be back in just a minute, guys, and I'll show you that fancy shirt. Give me a second.
Flanagan!
Yes, sir. Very disturbing, I know.
Fetch me Father Flanagan.
Your Hiney.
You are in the presence of His Holiness, the Pupius Maximus, guardian of the sacred fire hydrant, defender of the holy tennis ball, and eater of the golden kibble, Pup Oliver Poopsalop the Fifth.
You're Popedom. I heard you have a bone to pick with me.
Condoms, Father Flanagan?
No, thank you. I've got plenty.
That's what I mean. Why are you selling condoms?
Oh, you mean our Pharaoh Sombrero line of condoms? Understood.
You know how we feel about those around here.
Well, they're not to be used by the Catholics, of course.
Not for Catholics?
No, they're part of our Sinner Gonna Sin lack of faith outreach program.
A sinner gonna what?
It's like getting the tithe, but from the heretics and the heathens and the atheists.
Oh, well, when you put it like that.
But, Your Highness, this will reflect very poorly on the church.
True. You know what this means, Flanagan?
Warning label, a warning label on the box, not for Catholics in big letters.
Too subtle.
Instant purgatory if used by Catholics.
I like it. Divine branding.
Excellent, Your Popedom. Will there be anything else?
That will be all. You may leave.
We're gonna play Whackin' Atheist today. Yeah, so here's my Ken Hovind shirt. I think it's fantastic. I think it brings out my eyes. I know, right? But and it's got the little things that are hollow, and it shows you that I'm hollow. There's no heart, no spirit, no soul. But people, again, I kept getting the whole, is that Ken Hovind?
It's a very complimentary color for your skin.
See, especially when my skin is like nice, rosy, and sunburned. Oh, goodness, girl. That'd fuck me hard.
But damn, you get compared to that guy.
Dr. Dino. Yeah, I know, right? That's kind of the thing. One comparison I do get a lot. Let me ask you know, I'm sure you know. We'll see who in the chat knows. Who do I get compared to? What actor, my friends, do I get compared to a lot for some reason?
I don't know his name, but I know who he is. He appeared in a few episodes of Park and Rec. I know that.
Oh, really? I didn't know that about him. I'm sure my Bruce Dern.
Bruce
I hadn't
Dern,
thought of that. Billy Bob Thornton. I've heard that before too, Bruce. Bruce Dern. I haven't heard Bruce Dern before. I'm gonna have to tell the wife about that one. Let's see, Bruce Dern. But yeah, it's a Donald Sutherland. I get that a lot. A TSA guy at the airport or whoever pats you down told me I looked like that. Let's see, Bruce Dern. Just to make sure my what's in my head is. Yeah, I can see that a little bit. Yeah, if I had more of a down mouth, I am not.
He's very toothy.
He is kind of toothy. I'd have to work on that. But we say we have the same coffee-colored shade of tooth, for whatever that's worth. No, yeah, without a beard or without some kind of facial hair, I am just not a pretty man. I am not a pretty man. All it takes is just the tiniest of mustache, though, to make me a stud muffin, a muffin of the studs. Right? Charlie Chaplin. Paul Rothwell kicked in the door. Rothwell Smith. Good morning, Paul. Charlie Chaplin. Okay. I dig it. I just need the hat. You talking about me or her? I think Ryan looks more like Charlie Chaplin. It's kind of, yeah. Well, it's the mustache.
I was going to
say. Yes, greetings. Paul Fro from Norway says, some Christians do not like that I call into your show as well. You know, that's interesting. I understand that. I understand that. He was talking to you, but I understand it. Chris is getting hand jobs.
But how do they know? Did he tell them?
He may have told them, yeah. Or they walked in on him as he's sneakily watching us, you know.
Baby.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you know how it is. You know, those Christians are.
Sneaky.
They're very sneaky. Happy Heretic. Damn it, can't place the name, but the face always makes me think, have I seen this dude somewhere before? And I'm sure it's probably the whole Donald Sutherland. Was that maybe it? Happy Heretic. Somebody else I got one time whenever I did have no mustache, no beard. I worked in the oil field. Somebody at an Outback Steakhouse said I looked like Hugh Laurie from House.
Sounds so familiar. Oh, yeah.
Especially with face hairs. Bald
Right.
with a full beard and rock bald. House. Yeah, good to see you, secular feelinists. Good morning, secular feelinists. The Christians are coming to get you, and they are not pleasant people, Carlin. Interesting. Well, we had a caller earlier, and it was Fro, and we had the conversation, and I think I was able to pretty much establish, on the whole, the morality of your average Christian is not as good as your morality of your average atheist. I think on the whole, possibly. Of course, you know how those things are. Yeah, that's subjective. It depends on how you believe when you walk into the conversation. But it'll make for a great clip because it was a good point. I think I made some good points. I was like, but there are good people in all these religions, and there's bad people in atheism. Am I going to get
we come across them?
Yeah, am I going to get a hate DM from Steve McRae telling me to keep his name out of my mouth or some shit? We'll see.
I know. I think you've mentioned him before, but I always forget who that.
It's been rare. Well, when I first came into the atheist community, you know what? I don't want to bash people. I'm not gonna. I'll skip it. Let's skip it and move to the fun part of atheism. Let's see here. Fro called Fooey up at the beginning. You missed it. Caller hung up. Somebody's trying to call in. I don't know if it's the system that has issues. We're still learning the system. I may switch to Discord. Other people use Discord for their call-ins, and if I switch to Discord, that would save me a shit ton of money. A shit ton. It's pretty much everything that's whatever. It just goes to the phone. It's it's just
Is it easy to do that, or is it more difficult?
One of the things is that I don't really know, but Discord's a pretty capable program. And this year I'm pretty capable nerd. I'm sure I can make it all work. The deal is, would we ever get calls? Who's going to go over to our server in Discord and go through all that mess and then call?
I see.
Just a thought. Yeah.
And then you'd have to, I don't know, then they'd be in your server.
Yeah, so and it works for some people. There are other call-in shows that depend on it, and they do it, and it works just fine. It'd just be a switch. Right now, we get quite a few calls. We got a caller right now on the phone. It doesn't say the name. Let me bring them up and see what they want. Make me click that button twice. 3 times today. Oh, don't make me come over there. It hung up on them.
Oh, darn.
Yeah, there's something with the system. I was trying to answer you heard me trying. I was like, Joel Reads the Bible takes calls from Discord. Oh, maybe that was the one, because I was watching Joel Reads the Bible recently, and there's others that Rainbow Ash recommended that I've been checking out. Let's see, Greg S. I get it. Our feelings can be very compelling, but they are not reliable pathway to truth. As a rational, objective skeptic, I require evidence to be convinced of claims regardless of my feels. That's a good one. Where I would back that up would be, I really, really, really want there to be extraterrestrials. But I'm going to need some. I believe they're out there somewhere in the galaxy, the universe. They're just too big for them not to be. Are they here? Are they ripping the lips and assholes off of cows and probing rednecks' rectums? I'm going to need some proof. And how many rectums could you probe before you find out everything you need to know about rednecks?
If they want to probe rectums, I can point them in the direction of the White House, because they seem to enjoy the probe.
Well, apparently his is broken. Thank you, Sasha Riley.
Oh, yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
Maybe, possibly.
The Flockmeister says Joel is hysterical. Now that bothers me because I'm the funny one. I'm supposed to be the funny one. We need to talk about that. I may have to go into Nancy Kerrigan on him or some business.
Where's my pipe?
Yeah, that's right. I think I saw a UFO, but I was drunk at the time. Yeah, I really could be led to believe that they are real. I could. Gabby was testing me. Gabby said there was one behind me. I just had to make sure. I believe extraterrestrials are real. I mean, and I believe if you're a theist, logic dictates you must believe in extraterrestrials. The Holy Creator and all of his horde of heavenly creatures are all not of this earth. They're all of the heavens. They're out there. So that means extraterrestrials. Right? By definition, extraterrestrial, as of not of this earth. That's literally what it means, as in, above or beyond, or, folks. So you would think they would believe in the aliens. And then now here's the question I get. Let me ask you, Ryan, if aliens showed up and they believed in a God, what would that do to your belief system? How would that affect you as an atheist?
So the aliens show up and they have a God themselves.
Yeah.
Oof. I mean, I'd be having to ask them for their proof.
The proof.
Right? I mean, because they would come here with their God, but people here would be like, okay, well, here, we have our God.
Absolutely.
Is there evidence, the same evidence, or?
That's right. Now,
is he in tow? Is he like, yeah, I'm coming, hold up.
Yeah. And one of the things is, how do they prove it? I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm sorry. No, I was just talking out loud. Like they would have to do something to show that they were a God, sorry.
Or that their God was valid, any more valid than any of the rest of them. Now, here's one of the things. So what if they rock up and they have the exact same faith as Christianity? Well, that would say something. Oh, man, that's a little more specific. That doesn't mean they couldn't have come 2,000 years ago and affected us with their religion. That doesn't mean that's beyond possibility. If they can come here now, they could have come. So even if Christianity, but as we know from our experience here on earth, no two religions are alike. Despite the claim of God being the God creator, I mean, mathematics, it's the same everywhere. But religion, it's all new every time. So I'd be hard pressed to believe. I'd be very, 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 very skeptical.
Honestly, I would be I probably would be conspiratorial, and I would think that they planted the information here so they could have some kind of control, so they would come back at some point and something would be easier for them. I don't know what, but that's where my mind's going.
Well, there were that if you've seen the Alien movies, I think you've seen some of them. That's kind of the premise of the engineers and what they were doing. They had sent a representative or a person to Earth. It was allegedly Jesus. We did what we did to him because that's what we do. And once they heard about it, they decided we weren't worth letting live, so they were fixing to send a ship to kill us all when they had an accident on board their own ship that caused it to not take off. Were it not for that, they would have come and killed us because of baby Jesus.
I see. I forget. I kind of forget, to be fair, already, which is a shame. Yeah. Well. I could see that. I could see them coming here and be like, God, y'all are so stupid. Like the majority of you, you got this God, you got that. Wait, there's like 3 different beliefs off of one God. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? You didn't get it right?
Right. I would think they would.
Let's get the hell out of here.
I would think part of the reason why they haven't made communications with us and contact with us is because of our religion. We're not worthy of talking to until we've shaken off all these mythologies and embraced, reason, science. If they're coming here, they had to embrace those things scientifically. They had to be really good science to get here.
Right. Because it would really fracture a lot of people's beliefs. Like it would do a lot of psychological stuff to people, I believe, because it's just not something that they expect. It's out of this world. You know. So I kind of feel like they would think we're not ready. Just, you know, as Star Trek, when they're like, oh, that society, they're just not ready for us yet. They probably are past us by.
Yeah,
they're going to the next galaxy.
We're too dangerous.
What could they really expect here? If there's literally 3 beliefs, and there's more beyond that. There's actually more than that. But I'm just saying 3 different beliefs stemmed off of this one thing.
Mm-hmm. And that's just religion. That's not talking about the geopolitical corruption and all the other shit, all the way we pollute our world, all the things going on. That's just religion, and it's bad enough as it is. I mean, it's pretty bad. I tell you what, here's what we ought to do. It is Friday. I'm going to give these guys some holy halos, especially for the newbies. And then whenever we get back, we are going to spend a few minutes catching up, if we can, on where Ryan is on her Deep Space Nine experience. And also, for those of you who don't know, according to the latest episode of Star Trek Academy, I guess they call it, Star Trek Academy, the Klingon on that show is gay. And the right-winger losing their fucking minds. We'll be back. Next up in the Bark Bank, a clergyman with a holy hustle and maybe a few unholy loopholes.
Hi Barks, blessings and belly rubs to you all. I'm Father Flanagan, and today I'm here seeking $50,000 for 3% of my soul-saving startup, Holy Halos, the world's first, soon-to-be, church-approved condoms. Following the ways of the Lord can be hard and often require sacrifices of the flesh. Well, fear not, my wayward child, introducing Father Flanagan's line of Holy Halo condoms.
Hold on, Father. The church very much doesn't like condoms. How do you expect to sell these?
Well, you're right, but these aren't just any condoms. No, my furry financiers, these are permeable. But every single halo has been dipped in holy water, a divine divider between you and sin. You can finally frolic freely and still keep that sweet spot in heaven. Permeable, but dipped in holy water to keep the sin out, but let the babies in.
Let you get your stick wet without getting your stick stuck.
If you know what I mean.
Oh my! Very embarrassing every time.
So basically they don't work as condoms, but they let you get away with having sex without going to hell?
Exactly. The church gets to keep making babies, but you don't have to keep going to confession. Think of it. No more guilt. No more awkward "I'm saving myself for marriage" speeches. With Holy Halos, you can take those pray hands and turn them into lay hands.
Didn't I read that holy water is full of bacteria like E. coli? Won't this be harmful to women's health?
The words are English, but I don't understand the question.
How are you addressing the issue holy water presents for women's health?
Again, I'm not understanding.
She does that. Well, we don't get it either.
Is that mesh from a window screen?
Ah, that's a keen eye you have there, young lass. Yes. Another fine selling point, rough on the outside to increase her shame, as it should be, but soft and smooth on the inside, internally lubed and ribbed for his pleasure. We even have custom scents.
Scents? Now you have my attention. What flavors we talking? Don't pitch me that vanilla missionary nonsense, Padre.
Well, we do have virgin vanilla, but we also have miracle mint and cooing camel, and my personal favorite, sweat of the Savior.
And the Vatican, they've blessed this endeavor?
Well, not exactly. I'm still waiting on the papal decree one way or the other.
I love it, but you're asking 50 grand for only 3%. That's rough, Father, real rough.
Not running with the big dogs on this one. I'm gonna stay on the porch.
Me too. Good luck, Father. 15%.
Ouch, 15%, that's highway robbery even for the church.
Come on, Father, we're dogs. We know a bone when we see one. 10%, and we'll even...
For Poops a Lot the 5th.
Flanagan!
Yes, your poetry.
50,000 at 20%.
20%?
And you get to keep calling yourself a father.
Sold to the pup in the very fine hat.
I knew you'd see it my way.
You're very wise, your hiney. Would there be anything else?
You may leave.
Father Flanagan's line of holy halos, ultra thin, spiritually thick. Available in 3 sizes, conservative, medium, and liberal. All right, we are back, everyone. Now, there has been a question posed in the chat, and that was posed by Kelly Laughlin. He asked Gabby where Gabby's God came from. An answer was given, but Kelly did not like that answer. Kelly was small-minded, obtuse thinking. He did not appreciate whenever Brent A. said it came from his butt. I really think you need to
right. You know, really, it's the disrespect I can't stand.
It is. You need to rethink your life, Kelly.
my butt God is just as worthy.
Just as valid.
Yes, just as valid.
Just as valid. That's fantastic. I've got some very fascinating, interesting. A gay Klingon, though, would a gay Klingon battle? I'll say a gay Klingon, a warrior not only of the battlefield of the weapons and blood spilling, but also a warrior of love, the terror. You know, here's what I want to see. And you know, we're currently at the mercy of the current Star Trek writers. Everybody agrees on that. These are the same Star Trek writers who brought us the first gay Klingon. So my further question going, you know, I'm curious to see how the Klingon culture treats homosexuality among them. And the reason why I say that is because the right wing here, often they hate trans people. They have problems with pronouns. Okay. Whenever you watch Deep Space Nine and Dax meets Curzon, the first Klingon, I think it was Curzon. No. Dax meets Kor. Oh, what the hell is his name? He's played by John Calicos, the drunk old Klingon. It's either Kor something. So whenever she says, I used to be Curzon. At first he says, oh, my good friend Curzon. And then as soon as he finds out that she's now female, he's like, oh, my wonderful friend Curzon. He didn't care. It was a thing. It just wasn't a thing for that Klingon, you know, to not give a shit. And I thought that was cool about their culture. It's a meme. We meme it in the internet. You know, you'll see it on the internet. Hell. And people will say what his name is if we wait long enough. We'll say, Laura wears hats.
I think it is Kor. I think it's Kor.
Kor. No, I think Kor is the silver one. Oh, no, I don't know now. Let's look this up. John Calicos, Star Trek. Kor. It was Kor. Commander Kor. Okay. Yeah. Kor. Yes, Kor. Anyway, good stuff. Do atheists see God's character? Hi, Miss Martin. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. Here's the thing, and this is my perspective on it. I talk about this kind of on the show fairly regular. In my opinion, the Old Testament is God in his action, God moving upon the earth. You see him doing his thing, the stories of God. The New Testament is Jesus essentially saying, be good or the God is going to get you. Jesus coming doesn't change the nature of God. If you go look at the Old Testament, the God of the Old Testament is its character is very unfortunate. It condones child sex, slavery, it condones incest, it condones murder, it condones genocide, it condones slavery. It just goes on. So that, in my opinion, is the character of God, the Old Testament. So
yeah, if we're speaking about if that's the God we're talking about, then yeah, I basically agree.
Yeah.
Now, if it's you know just some kind of semblance like of a source or something like that, even that I just, I don't really know about any of that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of a good answer, I think. And somebody out here hooked us up. Clara Microraptor, you're new here, but I really appreciate you. You're awesome. Says, Curzon, my dear friend. And then she says, it's Jadzia now. And he says, Jadzia, my dear friend. There's no problem.
No skipping a beat.
No skipping a beat. Henrim has thrown some coin at us. Says, keep pounding. Thank you for your work. We very much appreciate you. For $2. Thank you very much for that.
Pounding what?
I ain't telling. Fern LeBon, the next time it Goddess gives you some Star Trek lore, Chris, believe woman. What did I miss? Did I miss something? Did I doubt you or some way?
I don't know.
I must have.
I already forget.
Are you the giver of lore? I know, right? We going by so fast. Oh yeah, core. She said core. You said core earlier. I think you threw out core. Yeah.
Yeah, I backed you up.
Yeah. I think you were right. I was the one who's like, no, you're wrong. You're a female. You must be wrong. I just assumed because you're a girl, you were wrong, and it must have been Kern.
It was corn. It was corn.
It's corn.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's fun stuff. Let's see. Not all MAGA are flat earthers. Oh, I guess we did take a commercial, yeah. Not all MAGA are flat earthers. That's true. Boilo, good morning. But all flat earthers tend to be MAGA. That's not, that's kind of, that tracks, I would think.
That's good.
I don't know a lot of flat earthers myself, but I have sadly seen more of it come up in my Facebook than I want to. And it's shame. I'm ashamed of us. I'm ashamed of us. Can't thou not see the shadow on the moon? Anyway, sorry. William Graves is here.
Flex.
Yes, it is a weird flex.
It's just a very strange take. And the information that they use, like to conspiralize or whatever you want to call it about NASA and the trickery, and it's you can do research on it and find out that there's no lies there. There's no nothing hidden. They're not trying to hide anything. Right. At least I don't see, at least that I can see. Anytime I've seen like, oh, well, they have green screen and they do this and then they show you like the inside, and what they do sometimes do green screen and they're belted in, but behind them you can see things floating. It's just like, if you want to do actual research, you can find out. I think they just enjoy being part of this group that's different.
Yeah.
Like an outgroup almost.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Because you look dumb.
Right. Yeah, right. Mark, yeah, right. Goodness gracious to the rest of the world. Anyway, William Graves said Mark 1:1, Mark 1:1, the beginning of the good news about Jesus, the Messiah of the Son of God. I will tell you a couple things. Here's some things you may not have considered for those of you Christians who are watching. The good news of Jesus was that you don't have to get circumcised anymore.
Duh.
That was one of the differences. You had to get circumcised before Christianity. You don't. So the good news is you don't have to get circumcised anymore. That is literally part of the good news of the New Testament, is that you don't have to get circumcised anymore. You can keep your dick flesh.
Keep your pee-pee.
Keep your pee-pee. Yeah. And there was a second one. I don't remember what it was. A second reason. Remember, there was the first covenant did this. The first covenant has two things. You did this and this. You give your pee-pee. And the second covenant was you don't have to give up your dick flesh anymore.
But you got to drink the blood and eat his body.
Some of that business, yeah. But yeah, so there are those things. Fern Lebon, Jesus never said to stop circumcision. That's Paul's. But yeah, and see, Paulinism, that's another line we could cross too. William up? Are our Christians out there Christians? Or are they Paulinians? That's the question.
I think most people are Paulinians, whatever you want to call them. I think so too. Because he basically changed it for them.
Oh yeah.
Elsewise, there wouldn't even be a thing, because they were it was not going to happen. They weren't converting all like that, so they had to make it more juicy, tangible.
Yep. So yeah, that was part of it. And then also something else you would consider, I don't know if we've still got our Christians there in the chat or not who were talking, and we discussed this on the show before. In the Old Testament, there was no hell. You just lived long. There's no heaven. Yeah, you didn't live with God. There was no heaven. There was no hell necessarily. There was, nothing like what we think of Jesus. Jesus brought heaven and Jesus brought hell. There was no hell like we currently know it before Jesus came along. So is it good news? Before you just died and blinked out of existence, everything went dark and you were done. Now, if you don't believe, you burn for an eternity, or you're separated from God for an eternity, or whatever business happens, however you think. Somehow you're punished for an eternity. Jesus did that. I'm just saying.
No, I agree. I agree that according to the Hebrew scriptures, there's not really a defined idea of some kind of afterlife. It really puts out this idea of from what you came from is what you're going to return. And that's out of the mud, out of the clay, out of the earth is where you're going to return. And they even say like, no more tears, no more death. It's just done so. But now Jesus comes along and he's like, oh, you can be with me forever. Doesn't that sound good? Because I'm actually a nice guy. I'm not this guy who's going to force you to worship me. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Try to candy coat, again, the shit that we've talked about before, put a cherry on top. Right. But no, I'm not falling for that.
Deviant Outcast says Jesus says nothing about circumcision. Agreed. Oh, right. And as we again discussed on the show back when this religion originated, it really didn't think about these things either. It didn't. A lot of this notions came along afterwards. This modern notion that Christians have of heaven and hell, but that's the notion they have, and this is where it came from. I'm just using their stuff against them.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of arguments you can make about what the first century Christians believed about hell. But again, we don't know for sure. We'd have to be guessing. But we do know for sure that from what was written, dependent on the Bible, like the translations, like the Vulgate and Septuagint and translations thereafter, they did a very good job intentionally of conflating words to make sure that throughout the Bible, there was this theme of death and destruction if you didn't do the right thing. So what wasn't there now was there, and that is because of what's written.
And then Gabby says in the chat, good morning, Gabby. And we got some new faces. Daryl, I think we've seen Daryl. Jesus said nothing about abortion. Homosexuality is wrong, according to William Graves. I don't know where you get that. If you believe homosexuality is wrong, you shouldn't wear two different. Now you're referring to the Old Testament. So if you're going to refer to the Old Testament and you're going to use the Old Testament to hurt other people, I'm going to use it to hurt you. You shouldn't be eating ham. You shouldn't be touching ham. You shouldn't, your wife after having a child should be unclean for 7 days. I mean, if you're going to use the Old Testament to hurt gay people because you don't like gay people, then you should follow all the rules yourself. And if you can't, then you should just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, they're cherry picking, and any scholar can show you that Leviticus, and is it Leviticus and Exodus? They've been pieced together. They've even been like switched around, and at the end of the day, it's all about hatred of women. It's not really have anything to do with two dudes having sex. It's because as a dude, you're not supposed to be subjugated to another dude. That's only for a woman to be subjugated. So it's really just about hatred of women.
Interesting. That is about power, isn't it?
Property.
That's fantastical. I
don't make another man your property.
Right. Not like a woman. Don't make him your bitch.
I mean, seriously, that's why they wrote that.
It's not against homosexuality. And we actually see examples in the Bible. We're talking about the Levite as he's traveling to take his concubine back to his hometown.
Oh, yeah.
He passes by all these towns, one after another, one after another, one after another. And he finally gets to the one with the Benjamites in it. And he's like, this is a good Jewish town or whatever he says. And he's like, we can stay here and be safe. But he was not. And a big part of it was they were trying to take his power. Like you were saying, it wasn't when Ryan and I first met. I actually put it in my book. I thought really, to me, it's mocking people who are against gay people, religious people. Whenever I say the horny horde of homosexual Hebrews went after these people, Ryan pointed out, well, they technically weren't homosexuals. It was more about power and control. And it still is.
Just like in the Sodom and Gomorrah story, that's just a whole twist on what the reality of what was happening there. And the dude hated his daughters so much that he was willing to throw them out to let happen to what the Levite woman or whatever it was, the concubine, whatever happened to her happened to his daughters, and he would have been okay with that.
That's true. Exactly correct. There's lots of bad examples.
Daughters. It's not like they're strange women.
I know, right? It looks like, right. I know that's a very bad example. We got Bonnie on the line, troublemaker extraordinaire. And Bonnie, let me bring Bonnie up here. Bonnie has thoughts on Satan and the devil. And I'm like, listen, she's at work. We don't talk about her when she's not here. Good morning, Bonnie. How are you doing?
Hi, guys. Yeah, I enjoy that discussion about Satan because, like you were saying, there's no Satan, there's no hell, in hellfire in the Hebrew scriptures at all. That's a Christian invention. Satan is in the Bible, in the Hebrew Bible, but he's actually a good guy all through the Hebrew Bible. In fact,
God.
there's a scripture at where is it here? 1 Kings 11, 14, 23, and 25, that when Solomon started building all of those false temples and stuff like that to those false gods, it says that Jehovah raised up a Satan or a resistor for him, who was Rezon. So, in the Hebrew scriptures, there is no Satan, the devil. There's Satan, but it just means resistor. And so it's a Christian invention just to scare people.
Yeah.
The devil, I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. And then there becomes that conflation of the devil. They do the same thing. They take all these titles and they make it so it's concise throughout the whole Bible so that theme stays consistent when there's really a huge disconnect. It's a great point that you've made, Bonnie.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, because when you look at Job, Jehovah asked Satan, what are you doing? Well, I'm roving about on the earth, and he's the one that told Satan to kill Job's children and his servants. Jehovah told him to go ahead and do it.
Well,
and so people make this like, he's so terrible because he kills people. No, the only one that killed people in the Hebrew Bible was Jehovah. I mean, Satan did it, but only because Jehovah told him to do it with Job.
If I may,
exactly.
I may even help you out a little bit more, even Miss Bonnie. Now, depending on the actual wording of the original text, but the devil didn't actually do the killing. In the very next chapter, the Satan comes back to, or the devil or whoever we're talking about, who comes to God again and says, God says, what have you been doing? He said, I've been going around my world and all that stuff. And then he says, take a look at my servant Job, who is still loyal to me, though you moved me. I did it. Right. You moved me to destroy him. So God takes credit for it.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
So those 10 people people often say that it was 10 people. Actually, it's more than 10 people because it wasn't just his children. It was also his servants, like his servants, his flockmeisters, whatever you call them, shepherds. God his whole. So, that was God. That was all God. That was not Satan.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for
There's a lot of people don't know.
Talk to you later.
Okay, well, thank you, Bonnie. Thank you for that.
Bye.
Thanks,
Bye.
Bonnie.
Have a good weekend. Sin safely.
It's such a fun topic.
It is. It is.
I love talking about that because I think it just blows. Like that really blew my mind when I started to learn that. When I was able to like take off the Christian glasses and separate the New Testament from the Hebrew scriptures, it was easier to see how they've had to create a huge bridge, and they've done it with, you know, Satan, with hell. There's been a few things they've been able to tie those little strings together, but once you start to pull that thread, you just see like this should not be connected. This should be as connected to the Hebrew, like the New Testament should be as connected to the Hebrew scriptures as much as the Quran should be connected to the Hebrew scriptures. Do you believe that we should have one continuous book? You probably say no. So yeah, we probably should separate the New Testament from the Hebrew scriptures as well.
And you've seen how the Muslims who they like to refer to the Old Testament, lean on it very heavily until you point out bad things about it. Then they start talking about how it's corrupted. They only like the parts that they like when they like the parts that they like. And if it's not a part they like, it's corrupted. And who determines which parts are corrupted? Yeah. Hey,
right. I mean, it's the same with Christianity. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just going to say, did you see Dave C. show up in the chat? Mm-hmm. The Dave C. You're right. Thank you, Dave C, for showing up. You're right. It's just Christianity. Same old.
They pick and choose. I mean, just like the person in the comment section talking about, you know, homosexuality or whatever. And you brought up, well, okay, you're just picking one section. Read the rest of it. What does the rest say that you're not? What does the rest condone? Are you doing that? Probably. So, you know, judge yourself just as unworthy. Just like Jesus said, you should take the rafter out of your eye before you try to point out the splinter in somebody else's eye.
That's right.
Glass houses, you know?
That's right. And yeah, we've got Punk Metal Towel on the phone. Let's get Punk Metal Towel up here. Give me just a second. If it makes me click it 3 times, I'm going to be very frustrated. There's the 1 click. There's the 2 click. It's spinning. It is spinning. Punk Metal Tower, are you there this morning?
Yes, I am. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Good morning.
Morning.
Oh, yeah. Why are we more moral? What are your thoughts on why we're more moral than Christians on the whole?
So on average, I mean, obviously there's always going to be exceptions, but I think there's far less violence and gaslighting. And this is just based off personal experience. Mm-hmm. And to be fair, this is based more off experience with, and this is going to, you know, obviously turn really dark here with my parents. There was gaslighting in the home. One of my earliest memories was I've always been bad at math. My dad was trying to teach me, and he wasn't able to teach me, so he knocked my homework off the table and made me pick it up and said that I dropped it. Well, I distinctly remember him getting angry and kind of violent and knocking my homework off the table and making me pick it up. And then when I talk about violence, there was one point where I'm trying to make the story as short as possible.
No worries.
I was encouraged to like joke around with the family more and kind of be more of a participant in the family. And so I did, and the joke kind of blew up, and we're riding down the highway. He pulls over on the side of the highway, drags me out of the car, and threatens to box me while I have all these cars that are just blasting by me within inches, almost knocking me over, potentially, you know, hurting or killing both of us.
Right.
And my mom is a notorious gaslighter. And it's gotten to the point where I have, at 41 years old, I disowned them about a little over a month ago because I can't deal with their shit anymore.
Still fresh. That's got to be a fresh wound. Sorry to hear that, man. That they are that way.
Sometimes you have to disconnect from family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For your own good, for your own mental health.
Yeah, and obviously, I mean, like, not every Christian family is like that. So, I mean, hopefully I'm not trying to, like, I don't sound like I'm trying to, like, throw this blanket of, you know, aspersions over everybody. But, you know, when you look into the science of gaslighting and what it can do to people, I feel like far less atheists will gaslight you because they know how much it can hurt you. And there's almost kind of like more of a sense of responsibility that kind of comes with that as well.
Yeah.
And then, like, when you don't have that persecution complex that, you know, Christians have, you know, you're not so angry, and it kind of feels like you're less predisposed, not to justify it, of course, but kind of less predisposed to those violent tendencies.
You know, if I can
I think you're groomed.
You go ahead. You go ahead. No, I've been talking all day myself.
I was just saying, I think that you're groomed, right? Like in at least I can say, growing up in Christianity or inside like a high control religion, you're kind of groomed to accept that type of behavior, really, from anybody, but especially and specifically from the religion itself. I mean, it will tell you that, you know, what you're learning in science is not true. When like when there's some things that are just, you know, provable, they'll say that it's not provable, like blood or, you know, not taking blood thing. Anyway, it's just you get so used to it. Like I didn't have a word to explain it. Like I knew I didn't feel right. Like I knew it was wrong, but I didn't know what it was called. And like the first time I heard that term gaslight, I was like, wow, it just felt like a stuff lifted off my shoulder. Like I was like, damn, that's what they were doing. Like it was actually a thing. Like it's a tactic, and they were using it on me. But anyway, yeah. So I can understand where you kind of see like, oh, because Christian and, you know, their standards, etc., it kind of happens.
It does. I would like to add, I spoke this now earlier. I don't like to blanket all people most of the time either. But whenever we compare secular humanism, atheism, we want to treat everybody equally. Almost all Christian sects oppress women. They don't treat women equally to men, and that's a form of oppression to women. Almost every Christian sect does that. Also, that's not counting the way they treat trans people, the way they treat gay people, these sorts of things. So on the whole, if you just take how they treat women, where you'd be really hard pressed to find a sect of Christianity that really does literally treat them equally. And because of that, I can say on the whole, atheists are more moral than Christians.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, I didn't mean to limit it down to like those two. There is definitely a lot of problems. Yeah.
I was helping you. I was kind of helping you more evidence for you is what I was kind of doing.
Fair. But yeah, I definitely have to agree because, I mean, like, so when I look back at the sheer amount of advice and whatnot that I've gotten from people, it's been such a wide diversity, you know, like, yeah, sure, there are other men that have helped me out, but there's also been women that have taught me to be a better person. There's been trans people, just like there's been cisgender people that have taught me to be a better person. There are gay people, just like there are straight people that have taught me to be a better person. And like the blanket hatred that they have for any non-white cisgender hetero male is, I mean, yeah, the patriarchy is a real thing. People to this day still kind of scoff, but it's becoming more and more evident. The patriarchy is just off of the back of, you know, the Bible, basically.
Yep, it is. From Eve to Paul and Timothy to how modern day churches. As a matter of fact, I saw just a news report this week. There's another fracture in one of the churches here in the United States because some of them are going to allow women to preach from the pulpit. And some of them, the other ones just can't handle that, and they're going to separate. It's somewhere over in the South. I don't remember which ones it was necessarily. But
yeah, and that's another thing. I don't know if you saw the story about, what's her name? Allie Beth Stuckey. She does Christian content, and basically a bunch of Christian males were like, well, you need to shut the hell up. You're a woman. And she's like, well, you know, this really hurts. How could you do this to me? You know, I'm preaching God. You know, I'm trying to help you. And they basically doubled down on, well, shut the hell up. You're a woman.
Well, Paul
and she's still like, yeah.
Paul tells, they can use the word of their own book. Paul says, you're not supposed to be doing that. It was Paul, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I believe so. Yeah. And it's just so sad to be like,
yeah, we know. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just so sad that like people think they actually deserve that. And one of the things too with the last time I talked to my mom, and this is another thing, it's my dad, but she's like, well, your dad watches all these videos and tells me. And it's like, well, dad probably means well, but dad's human. Dad can be wrong. So shouldn't you be watching these political videos? Shouldn't you have your own nuanced opinion? Shouldn't you be contributing, to this conversation with someone who may or may not have something correct? And she can't see that because she's been raised her whole life that, because of what she, her gender, that, apparently she has no input. And it's just like, that's sad, man. Because like I said, I go back and I look at the sheer amount of different type of people that have helped me to grow as a person. We're screwing ourselves with this, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Being narrow-minded like that. All these people have so much to offer. Yeah, anyway, you know what, brother? I appreciate the call. Thank you very much. It's time for us to take a break, and we have another caller in the wings. Punk Metal Towel, thank you, Rain, for calling us and sharing that. That was a good point. Huh.
No problem. Y'all have a good one.
Sorry about your history, man. Sorry
Thank
about that.
you.
That's kind of rough that you had to do that, man. So.
Yep. All right, bye.
Bye. Thank you for sharing. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break. Whenever we come back, we're going to take another call. We lost one. There was one up there and it fell off, and we've got another one up there. So hold on a minute, and we will be back in just a second, guys. And we're going to take a call. Apparently, somebody said SCOTUS just kind of smacked Trump down by saying his tariffs are illegal. In honor of Herr Trump, I'm going to play our fascism commercial. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Today's world is confusing, and there's too much information for one person to make sense of it all. Which credit card should I pay off first? Is non-fat milk good for me? Who should I vote for? Let's face it, if you can't figure out high-interest milk, then how can you be expected to make political decisions that influence a country of over 325 million people? Well, that's why there's fascism. Fascism is the political, social, and economic system for today's world. The Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines fascism as a political philosophy, movement, or regime that exalts a nation, and often race, above the individual, and that stands for a centralized autocratic government headed by a dictatorial leader, severe economic and social regimentation, and forcible suppression of the opposition. Choose this ideology and life will be easy. Did you ever look at someone who uses really big words and think, I wish those libs would just disappear? Well, under fascism, your dreams can come true. Under fascism, you won't have to worry about the pesky little things like brown people or atheists, or who in your country is entitled to basic human rights and who is not. Hint, hint, the answer is nobody. Yes, friends, this truly is the final solution you've been looking for. And if you're concerned if this form of authoritarianism will be up to your high standards, don't worry. American fascism will be the best fascism in the world because it's been endorsed by Jesus. So go out and destroy freedom and democracy by getting fascism today. Paid for by the Fascio Conservative Party, formerly known as the GOP. And we are back. Thank you for joining us. I see we have a caller that keeps getting dropped and falling out. I appreciate your persistence, caller. Thank you for trying. I don't know if it's our system. Our system's working for other people, so I'm going to blame you. We've got another. It's Bonnie again. Troublemaker Bonnie extraordinaire. Let me bring Bonnie up again. Bonnie's got words. Let's go here. Bonnie. Good morning, Bonnie. Oh, Bonnie's not here. I click you 3 times.
I can.
Hello. You're morality. Hi.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm much more moral now than I was as a JW, and I was a JW from 18 to 68. I'm 79 now. Okay. But Jehovah's Witnesses are told they have to put on a new personality. And I was never a liar. I didn't steal. I didn't kill anybody. I was never immoral. So I don't know what kind of a personality I was supposed to put on. All Jehovah's Witnesses are told they have to put on a new personality. Okay, so when we went to the door, we were supposed to say to them, we're not here to convert you, which is a lie. And we know it's a lie. We're there to convert them.
Yeah.
That's what we're told. And another thing is, it's so easy to prove that Jerusalem was destroyed in 586 or 587 BCE, but yet they're told that Jerusalem was destroyed in 607 because because otherwise you can't come up with 1914 when Satan was kicked down to the earth. So they, in all of their literature, they insist that they take the history, and in all of their literature they take the history and they work it around 607 when Jerusalem was destroyed in 586, 587, 20 years difference. And so, they're all being lied to. And this was around 2016 when they had this in Australia. They were looking into the different religions when it came to child abuse. And one of the leaders, I forget his name now, but anyway, they said, "Do you think you're the only true religion?" And he said, "Oh, no. Oh, no. God will be working with other people, too. We go to the door. That's what kept us all in there, was that we're the only true religion." And he absolutely denied it. He denied that we were whipped our children. We were told to hit our children. It was in one of our songbooks that we had to hit our children, which today, and I did. And so, and today we would be put in jail for the things they told us to do. And he denied it. He denied it under oath. So, I never was a liar. I don't know what kind of a personality I was supposed to put on. Anyway, I'm more moral now than I was as a JW. So thanks for letting me vent.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Bonnie.
Agreed.
Yeah. Agreed. Well, it's come to bye, Bonnie. It's come to my realization as I've gotten older and dealt more with Christianity or theists really in general, is that it is lying and projection is as big a sign of Christianity as a cross. You can tell just by their actions, by really sort of the way it says it, just not the way they'd like you to know it. By their actions, you will know them exactly correct. They lie, they project, and now I'm talking, obviously not everybody, right? We know that. We've already covered that so many times. We're not talking about every Christian. Just the bad ones.
But nowadays, it's almost what they say and what they do. They're coming out the closet, or at least a very specific brand of radical Christians seem to be okay with just saying the quiet part out loud, which most decent Christians wouldn't believe ever.
True. Let me bring that down. Yeah, and I've said it before myself. I've said it. I'll say it again. And it doesn't matter which one of the Abrahamic religions we're talking about. The more fundamentalist you are, the more likely you are to be violent or other prejudice, all the ugly traits of mankind.
It's hand in hand.
Yeah. Exactly.
The Bible is their guidebook, and the excruciating, painfully parts of it they're attached to, and they are okay with exacting that same exact pain on other people.
Yeah. Kilo Whiskey managed to show up today. Finally, what the hell, man? Individual, person, woman, I don't know. Sorry. They finally showing up. Come crawling in all this late and whatnot. It says, I believe Christians conflated their devil with Satan of the Old Testament. That's part of the reason why I'm giving you shit about this, because we talked about this earlier. Ryan went on about herself, about how they're not the same, and they've really kind of done a lot to make pretty much anybody who's, well, I can't say anybody, but the Satan, the devil, all those people, they're all the same person. Lucifer is Satan, is the devil, is the serpent, is the it's all the same.
They get tossed out of heaven, and that doesn't happen until, like, I don't know, Revelations. Like, there's a lot of inference, just like Jesus is read into the scriptures. They do the same with so many different terms and themes.
They do. Did you happen to notice, I don't know if you noticed or not, AJ's in the chat.
Ways to Human. Good morning, AJ. Thank you for joining us. I hope you're doing fantastical. Ways to Human is very prolific. What's the word I want to say? Activist. Very, very good. Go follow, listen to. She's got good stuffs, all kinds of good stuffs. Why is that thing doing that? Yes, she's Wile E. Coyote, super genius, kind of smart.
Let me see here. Musical monkey for you. So Gabby, I see Gabby's had some interest in the chat. I've kind of ignored most of it. I did want to mention that we've got an individual in the chat, William, who is poo-pooing on science. And I want to mention just a few things that our science is so much more reliable than your religion. In your book, in fact, if you're a Christian, Jesus tells you, do this, 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 and this will happen. And it doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. Stuff like that. There's just so many things, but you wouldn't be able to watch this show right now were it not for science.
Ooh.
So I'm just saying.
You mean God didn't bring us here?
See, that's the funny part. They like to try to take godly credit for that shit, right? Yeah, my God created the scientists that made the... Yeah, right. I know. They do that. I'm going to turn that off there. So, yeah, that's kind of one of those things. It just drives me nuts. They try... It's just a wiggle out, I really did.
God gets all the good credit, and Satan gets all the bad credit, and...
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You never see a football team come off that lost and go, damn you, God.
No. Though they don't usually blame Satan, so I guess that is a benefit. But
yeah, that's a good point.
But I wouldn't be surprised if the fans aren't somewhere.
Yep. If you, William Grave, if you can go all through all that trouble to copy down the scripture, you can paste the whole damn thing. I'm not going to go look on every one of them up. If you want me to bother to respond to the scripture, you will post the whole thing. If you expect, I did it once out of my own curiosity. But really, you just came in the chat. You said Matthew 1:1 or Mark 1:1, and I wanted to see what kind of person you were. Is it going to be you're a nut person, or is it going to be something like, you're a reasonable individual pointing out something stupid in the Bible? Apparently, it was the former.
Oh, no, not the latter.
No, apparently, unfortunately, for any children you may have. I know, right? And I tried to explain to you that, well, if you don't care, do you? That's the whole thing about a lot of these people. They don't care to know the truth. They don't want to know the truth.
They have an agenda. They're not here to have a conversation. They want to talk at, not with.
Yeah, thank you, Kelly. Kelly, thank you for being here. Kelly says, yeah, put in the whole scripture. Mainline Protestantism holds to old earth creation and a 3.8 billion year old abiogenesis. And that's one of the things I was fixing to say a minute ago is that one of our first callers, I guess last week, I was wrong. I was wrong about the abiogenesis thing. We didn't know that until after we got off the show. But when I found out, I was like, all right, because that's, like I said that day, that's like this tiny little closet that now their God lives in. And any day now, the news could come that we've got proven evidence of how abiogenesis tripped off. Any day now, that's one of the tiny, tiny, tiny little recesses of their God. And that'll prove a perfectly good example. Because all this time they've been going, our God does this. Oh, whoa, you proved that by science. Oh, our God does this. Oh, you stop. Oh, science. Oh, yes, God is this. God is here. God is here. God is here. God is here. Now God is just pretty much the abiogenesis. And as soon as we do that,
explosion.
Yeah, I know their minds are going to explode. And what if science came out tomorrow? Yeah. What if science came out tomorrow and they said that the universe was cyclical? They have evidence that it just expands, collapses, expands, and it's dozens of times over trillions and trillions and trillions of years. Would that be enough for them to believe that there was, their God creator is somewhere in there somehow?
That's just really crazy to think about, though, because we just don't have any proof. We really don't.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
We could be the 13th generation of some kind of life form, sentient life form.
Yep.
That even becomes like technologically advanced and scientifically advanced, but then, collapse.
Very true.
And rebirth.
Rebirth. I like that. I'm really getting partial to, for those who don't know, I'm getting partial to the whole we're inside of a big black hole thing.
Oh, yeah. You like that hole.
I do. I like them black holes. Well, when we study black holes here, whenever matter falls into a black hole, it pretty much gets rendered to just essentially the basics of energy. Once it goes in there, anything going into a black hole is essentially destroyed and it becomes spaghettified. It's just basics of bubbly energy. What ends up going into the black hole. And it gets bigger over time. Our universe is getting bigger over time. And any place in our universe where you remove all the matter, where you remove all the everything, more stuff will come in. It just pops in out of nowhere. It's kind of, I like to see those as a similar effect. That matter that's coming in and filling those empty spaces of wherever it's at, that matter that's coming in is matter falling in from the outside universe being turned into pure energy and shoved back into our black hole place. Isn't that craziness? It's crazy.
So we're just like the stomach of the black hole, basically. We're the poop that combine together inside the intestines of the black hole.
We could be black hole poop. That's funny. Yeah. That's an interesting thought. Interesting thought experiment, guys. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I'm going to read our super chats today, and I'm going to let Ryan go here in just a second. We got one super chat from Henry for $2. Good morning, Henry. Thank you for joining us. Says, keep pounding. Thank you for your work. We appreciate it. Thank you very much for joining us today. And thank you all for joining us. Ryan, thank you for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful, fantastic weekend. Sin safely.
Guys, stay tuned for Ember.
Stay tuned for Ember. Yep. As soon as the end credits are done, it'll pop over to Ember. Thank you all, my friends. I'll be back Tuesday. Java and Jugs will be here Monday. And you guys have a fantastical weekend. Sin safely, my friends. Take care.
Got a house that smells like old cheese and shame. Father Flanagan's flesh candles change the game. Goat-scented thrills for your soul's delight. Light it up, baby, make your room right. When you've sinned and need to atone, light a candle and avoid the stone. Smell the goat in a holy zone. Father Flanagan, here to set the tone. Confession booths, busy, no need to stress. Light a candle and forget your mess. Gross odors vanish like sins in the wind. With each wick, guess who's your new best friend? When you've sinned and need to atone, light a candle and avoid the stone. Smell the ghost in a holy zone. Father Flanagan, here to set the tone. Lambs and calves may have their day, but goats, the scent that leads the way. Clean your slate with a sniff so pure. Father Flanagan's got the cure. Turn your home into a saintly space. With every whiff, find redeeming grace. From your living room to the kitchen sink, light the gold candle, don't even think.